Good morning. Today is Friday the 18th, day 9 of recording myself every day. Big day planned ahead. But first, I want to recap last night. I've been really struggling to go to sleep on time. I'll lay there in bed for hours and then not be able to go sleep. So I got up for a little bit and I did some more work doing some documentation. And then I finally went to sleep. And then I got up this morning very early. So I was going to try to go back to bed. But I set a time. If I'm still up by this, I'm going to get up. So was still up by like 7:15, so I decided to get out of bed, start the day. So it's around 7:30 right now. Just got ready for the day and then started recording this. Big day planned ahead, already said that. But first I'm gonna record or edit yesterday's video. Probably see a time lapse of that. And then later I'm gonna tell you for what's going on for the rest of the day.
Little time lapse. As I said, this was me editing yesterday's video. Got that done. I was actually editing today's video and I realized that I'm just really slow at editing. It's because I'm not like forcing myself to push really hard, in that I don't feel like I'm time constrained, so I'm not trying to push as far as I can. So I'm going to try to do that in the future. Saves me a bunch of time.
Walking to go get pineapple juice, absolutely empty on the street today. I don't know why that's that. But I just wanted to say, I was listening to Alex Hermosi, and he was talking about why did it blank on my mind? Oh, the ability to create a company, and there's like people who can just go in and then create companies out of literally nothing, and they'll have like a successful business in a short amount of time. And something I want to be able to do is have the knowledge of creating that company basically from scratch without having a lot of time. I think it will take time for me to learn those skills, but going through my first business will help me get closer to that. But I want to be able to just kind of, if I have an idea, create it into a business in as least time as possible. So like the difference between thought and having like a tangible business, I want to decrease. Bang bang.
Here are the gym workouts today. Started with some trap bar deadlift. This one was a little bit lighter, and then I went to some heavier sets after, but they were different super sets, so I had separate videos. You can see me doing some hip movement. I always feel really sus when I do this stuff. And then here's some pause bench. It doesn't look like I'm pausing because it's sped up 5 times, but I was pausing for 3 seconds in between each rep. And then here's one of the sus workouts that I do. I don't know how I managed to do it, but I managed to put so many of those. Here is just a normal pull, and then in between my break, which I had to do my set and then pause 30 seconds and then do till failure. You can see me take my keys because someone wanted to use the bench directly after me, but I didn't get to clean it up because I was still in the middle of my superset. Here, I did some heavy ass Bulgarian split squats. I like doing the barbell because I can put a lot more weight on, but I can really feel the burn when I'm doing these. This is another sus set, but just trying to get my like hips to function as well as they can. Finally, we had dips, 50 reps in the least amount of time. You can see me a little bit wobbly there, maybe because I had to do so many, but I had to take breaks in between because I knew I wasn't going to be able to rep out 50 in a row. So I did as many as I can, and then I took 10-second breaks just to until the next set. I completed all 50 in about 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So I think that's a pretty good time, but I'm going to try to beat that in the future. Finally, I had my juggling for the time lapses, but I accidentally had the video camera so low, so going to fix that next time. Don't know how I messed this up because I literally have to do this every day, so I should get the camera angle like the exact same as the past days, but live and learn. Not a perfect YouTuber, not a perfect video creator yet, so I'm going to try to get better at that. That's all I have for the exercises and stuff. Just kind of going to ramble on so that the text goes the entire length.
What's up? I feel like it's been a little bit since I last made a little check-in, so I'm gonna do this now. Hopefully this angle's all right. Sit back. Went to the gym, came home, made lunch. I made a pasta with chicken, spinach, and then like a creamy sauce of like cream cheese, and then also some leftover pasta water. Pretty good. 3 more portions, so I have enough to eat for a while. I
I absolutely hate cutting chicken. It takes so long and is just such a pain in the ass. But got that done, and then I did my juggling for an hour. I did all right in some areas, worse in others, but I finished the entire 8 variations that I usually try to get through, which was the first time I've ever done that. So I had about 3 minutes left, so I decided to just try to use the tennis ball, which y'all saw at the end. I'm a little bit new to doing barefoot tennis ball. I've done some tennis ball juggling work previously with a certain coach, but it was just like more focused on rhythm and not focused on just continually juggling, continue trying to get more. So I'm excited to eventually, when I add more time and get better at this, I can add more juggling with the tennis ball or other variations that are like kind of difficult. I consider the 8 variations that I'm doing like the core, and then everything beyond that is going to be like kind of special to where it's going to be working on a like certain skill that's hard, such as rhythm, or it's going to be me popping the ball up and then popping the ball over my head, and I have to do like a 180 and then control it. So it's just like doing different variations, trying to get mastery over the ball, trying to just get in different circumstances so I'm comfortable in anything that comes to me during the game. Now I'm going to do my cold shower. I'm going to then watch a Barcelona game. I haven't decided which one yet, but it is around 3:11. My phone is on 19%, so I'm probably not going to time lapse that, and I'll probably not check in for a little bit. I'll let it charge, let it charge, and then I'll do some work. Probably we'll have a recap tonight about how everything went. I did actually want to mention something. I'm going to go get my notebook. So today has actually felt pretty shit in terms of like, I haven't been like exactly completely like, oh yeah, let's go get it. But I think for me, and I think for anyone who's like pushing to do anything, these days are the most important, that you have to kind of build your own fire and build yourself to want to do the thing you don't want to do. And I wrote this down in my notebook after my first variation, and I said, if it sucks, you should go into it. If it sucks, you're going to sit here and do it until you enjoy it. And it's just like, I really want the end goal, but sometimes my mind fucks with me and it's like, oh no, you don't have to do this, or oh no, like just take a break. But I have to, when that happens, I have to kind of like tell that voice like fuck off, and then do the thing I don't want to do continually until I enjoy doing it, because I've gotten a lot better at it. So I've gotten more comfortable doing it. And for me, as I do things more and get better at them, I tend to enjoy them more. So that's my little wisdom of the day, what I've been going through today. Otherwise, it's been pretty good. I was pushing, like I kind of had the same thing. It started at the gym, so I had to really push myself at the gym. And then when I got home after I ate lunch, I was looking at so I like to just look at the Forbes like billionaire list just to see. I don't know why, but it's just like, but I had to catch myself in that distraction and then immediately start doing my juggling. So then I got that done. I have the rest of the day to watch the game, study it. I want to change how I'm watching the games. Previously, I was just watching games and just trying to notice things that they were doing, but I specifically want to look at, well, I've said it before, but I want to look at Pedri and then look at something he just did, and then either like a movement in the space or a ball, and then rewind and look at what made him think about that decision. So trying to understand why he's making certain decisions, not just what decisions is he making. I think really trying to break that down so that I can maybe implement that into like my play, and trying to get along the same thinking as what I consider to be one of, if not the best midfielders in the world. If I could implement that, like that would be amazing. And then rest of the day, not coding, but documentation. I might actually do some coding because I have the free trial for Augment Code for the next, I think, week. It's Friday. Oh, one day less than a week. So I want to take advantage of that while I have it. I mean, it's free. I can cancel it if I find that it's not that great. But just trying to stick to what I enjoy, stick to what brings me progress, and yeah. I'm gonna put this in, but I can tell when I use like filler words like so or yeah or but, and then sometimes I'll say something and I'll say like so, and then I pause, and then I don't really continue what I was saying before, and it just sounds really bad. Sometimes I edit it out so you can't actually tell when I'm doing it. I'll make little cuts, and then sometimes I'll cut out when I make the transition word. But I'm trying to get better, like consciously right now while I'm recording this, thinking about what I'm saying, trying to continually talk, trying to take pauses where it actually makes sense. And if I do take a pause, not to just sit there, because sometimes I'll sit there and it will be like 4 seconds of me just like, and that's not like how a great talker would talk. So I just did it again, trying to become better by consciously thinking about what I'm doing.
Hello, little update. Currently doing some work. I'm just tracking my score right now, but also I'm doing some work with the MVP. I'm using ChatGPT to help me fully discuss the details of what I actually want the app to be. It's going pretty well so far. The document is only 56 pages, but that's that's just for one page, and that's before I add the calendar grid specification, which I think will be pretty long because it's I think it's pretty in-depth and probably the feature that needs the most specification. After that, I'm going to read some articles that my dad sent me and the other people in the team from the nutrition app. I think they're about using AI to help patients in some way, but I haven't really looked at them. They're research papers, so they are long. I am planning on reading them myself and then having ChatGPT generate a summary just so I have an understanding of what's actually going on. And then I also have notes in case I want to look back at something, but I want to make sure that I'm just not putting in a ChatGPT and then get a summary and then not actually understand what the articles are talking about. It's currently 5:52, so I'm going to do that for the next 2 hours and then get into like my nighttime routine. Phone all charged up, so I should get a time lapse. Thank you for reminding me to get a time lapse up of me working for the next 2 hours. I got my dinner right here. It's what I made for lunch, so it's prepped. And then I have to give keys to one of my roommate's friends who's staying at their apartment, but they're not in town. And then tomorrow I actually kind of have an early day because people from my hometown are coming in to Barcelona, and I think they get in at like 7:08, and then they're dropping their suitcases off at my place because their Airbnb doesn't allow them to do it until 12, so we're probably going to hang out. I really have to be disciplined tomorrow in terms of getting everything done. I already worked out my schedules to where I don't have to go to the gym and don't have to juggle because it's my rest day. I just pushed it when it's usually on Thursday to Saturday because I don't have class, so it was just a lot easier to do it during the week. But I have to be disciplined in the time that I'm not with them. We already planned on getting lunch, but we're probably going to get breakfast as well. But I think I'll just have to map out my day to where I can reasonably edit and then also do a little bit of work on my business. They have a dinner tomorrow, so it will be a little bit easier to do. Sunday is going to be a little bit more similar. I don't have to go to the gym, but I'll be able to at least get like my morning routine in of like me waking up, editing, and then probably me waking up, editing, breakfast, and then straight into juggling instead of going to the gym. So just thinking out in my head what's planned ahead.
I've been also just like kind of sporadically as I take breaks in between, not even breaks, just like I switch tabs to my VS Code and then use Augment Code to fix some of the bugs that are happening in the calendar app, and it's actually been working so far. So just a little progress, a little bit at a time, consistently will make big changes.
Final time lapse of the day. Something I did want to mention here that I think is very important is I'm going to be editing a lot less of the pauses and the mess ups in between me talking so you can get a better idea of how I was actually talking in person, because I can watch myself, but if I cut that out, then y'all do not get the benefit of seeing how bad I was in past and then seeing how I progress in the future, just showing like the raw footage of me continually talking, continually getting better, and then over time, hopefully, I'll be a talking god.
Oh, barely got in there. What great runs from my teammates. Oh my god, carry me. That's a great pass. It switches the field and he has all the space in the world. Like, I'm supposed to check my shoulder there. The defender just passes the ball at the top of the box, bro. That's not a weak pass. He's just so far. What? You were very fast. No. Fuck. No. Okay, fair enough. Okay, pass. Scan time is a bullshit over statistic. End of day 8. Dude, why do I never remember this? No. End of day 9 check-in. So last time I talked to you, I was doing some work on the couch. Then you saw a time lapse of me doing work, and then I had a few clips from Be Your Best. During the work, the first 2 hours, I was working on I think I talked about it already, but just to reiterate, I was working on the documentation for Amplify, the calendar app, just trying to get that really sorted out. I got the calendar grid and the time column done, and then after that, I was a little bit hungry. I think I stopped a little bit early and not cooked dinner, but warmed up dinner, and then I feel like I did something else, but I can't remember what it was, but something very small. Not Duolingo. I don't know. Anyways, the last 2 hours I've been working on I've been reading some papers based on what my dad sent me and the other colleagues on AI use, kind of like testing AI capabilities in nutrition, specifically with not even just AI, but I read 3 articles. 2 of the articles were focused on kind of meal plans with AI. I'm not sure of their exact testing methods, if they use fine tuning, but to my knowledge, I don't think they did. And then they were also kind of old studies. They were using 3.5 turbo, which is a little bit of an older model. There's newer models that are better, and actually, I don't know if they're cheaper, but they are better. So I think we should retest with newer models such as 4.0, 4.1, and even Google Gemini, or even maybe trying O3. Although using the O3 and the O4 mini are very expensive, if it gets the best results, if it gets the right results, it might just be something that we have to do, or it might just not be something feasible at this time until smaller models that are cheaper become better. So just like food for thought, trying to take those studies, think about what they did, their testing method, and then what outcomes they got, and different ways that we can improve it. The way I chose to go about the articles is that I read the articles myself so I can get an understanding of what they did and what the outcomes were, and then I would use ChatGPT to create a summary, and then also I gave it a little bit of context of what we're trying to do, trying to apply what they did to now our study, which is the nutrition app. I think there's 7 articles in total, and I've done 2 of the shortest ones. I did one that was a medium size, so I have a lot of reading over the next few days, but I plan to do the reading, then synthesize all the, not the results, but insights I got from reading, and then share it with the team based on what I think we could maybe implement, like new features that we weren't thinking about, or different ways that we could go about. One really interesting thing that I didn't really think about before was using different types of testing to either test the
well, mainly to test the output of the AI algorithm. You can either use regression testing as suggested by ChatGPT to test to make sure the levels of calories, or trying to hit specific milligram benchmarks for like vitamin D, for example, using regression to make sure that the proposed meal is actually in the specified range of people with a certain comorbidity recommended diet and nutrition plans. So reading other articles is really helpful, and just to do our thing. And it makes me think that someone who's building this calendar app, a lot of my onboarding, I want to be kind of motivating and kind of understanding the person. So I might look into finding some articles that I can find to better understand motivation and how people work. I have actually read, I think, quite a lot about it, because in school, especially for I took a psychology class, and a lot of my papers focused on, one was working memory and how to improve it. One was the anterior mid-cingulate cortex, which is the willpower of the brain, and how it's plastic, it has plasticity, which means it can grow or shrink. And in those papers, as well as sports psychology, in those three papers, like, I kind of had to learn about motivation and how people work. So trying to apply that, and then maybe more studies in the future to understanding human motivation, so I can better help people stick to their schedules, stick to their goals, stay consistent. And then ultimately, if I can do it for anyone, like, it will be better for me as well. So it is a little bit selfish in the end. Little pause. Then I had Be Your Best. That went well. I think I got a 930 score. I think I said in the video as well. I might have a few clips. Yesterday, it was actually funny, because 2 days ago, I was like all like talking, and like I wouldn't shut up, and like basically just having commentary like I was a commentator. And then yesterday, I don't think I said a single word, or if I did, it was like a quick like, damn. But today, I feel like it was a mix of both, because I realized after 2 days ago, I was like, I'm not a commentator, I'm not an entertainer. I don't need to be saying all these things just to like bring like joy to the audience. And then I had like an overcorrection. So today I don't know, maybe I was just more myself. Maybe it's just based on different days, how I'm feeling. I'll talk more, I'll talk less. That was a good area for study, because that last sentence, because I was talking and then I didn't like end the sentence on like in a way that my tone sounded like it was the end. It sounded like I was still in the middle of the sentence, and I kind of was, but I just ended it abruptly. So that's like another point of study. I think I've been saying this today, like consciously being aware of, oh shit, like I'm fucking up in this talking, and then trying to, while talking, continuing to run this recording, like trying to get better. But I'm going to keep on saying it. I think I'm like a broken record about two things I say. And one of the things I say is that it's going to be a long time before I really see the like tangible results of me changing and me getting a lot better at talking, or me getting a lot better at anything that I'm doing. So it's just important to realize in the moment, as well as when I'm editing, where I'm kind of messing up, where I can kind of improve. Final thoughts for the day. Pretty good day. Started out kind of low motivation in terms of I didn't exactly feel super motivated about doing things, but I had to push myself to have that inner voice, push myself to try to output as much as I could in the day. And I would say it turned out pretty well, and I feel more motivated now than I did at the beginning of the day. So at least that's a good sign, closer to my ideal self, as like he would be able to motivate himself no matter what the circumstances were, no matter how he's feeling physically, mentally, be able to put his head down and work and
try to get the most out of any situation. So on a little sad note, I got a video. Well, first I got a text in my family group chat from my sister. She asked about my dog. So for context, my dog is 13 years old, Golden Doodle. We got him in 2012. He was born in August of 2012, August 17th. So he's 12 now, almost 13, and he's getting towards the end of his life. And over the past really since I've gone to college, I think a little bit more. So like 5 years, he's had really like bad problems with his hips. So he hasn't been able to move that well. It comes and goes, but overall, he hasn't been super mobile in the past like 5 years. And my dad sent a video today of him, and he was at first sitting down and then like watching him struggle to get up and then start to move. And then he took like a really long time to sit down. And it's just like kind of sad to see. And honestly, the saddest part for me is that I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to see him again, because I am choosing to stay in Europe over the summer, and then I'm going to be here the entirety of next year. So reasonably, I don't know when the next time I'm going to go home. He's never been on a plane before. He's never been in a flight before. The only reason he's been in a car is when we drove to Kentucky to go pick him up, and then also we had a hurricane, so we evacuated with him. But even if I asked my parents to take him to Croatia, I don't even think it would be possible, partly because my parents want to travel, so they wouldn't be able to travel on top of having the dog. And then partly because he's getting old and he's never done it before, so it might be a little bit much for him. So it's just kind of sad to think about, like, oh, like maybe I'll never see my dog again. And I feel like we were decently close. I mean, I think he liked me the most out of all my family members. Maybe less when I went to college because I wasn't around as much. And honestly, we're not sure if he can remember people beyond like a few months removed. So he might have had to like remember me every single time I went home. And then I was only home for the winter and summer. So he probably got 3 or 4 months of me during the latter like 3 years of his life, which I think that's just kind of how life goes in terms of like I can't bring him to college with me, so that is just how it is. And I don't know. I'm gonna be sad when he goes. I can like hear myself like cracking up. I'm kind of glad. I've been looking at the YouTube statistics, and people don't really make it past. I think the average view duration, the highest that I ever saw, was like 1 minute and 46 seconds. So this video probably won't be viewed, and if it is viewed, it probably won't be viewed for a long time. But it's just kind of sad, and I can hear myself like a little bit like breaking up when I'm starting to talk about him, and my hands, I'm starting to like, when I feel like I do this when I'm nervous, but I really start like rub them hard. And I can tell I'm doing that because my hands are a little bit red in between my index and thumb fingers. But I don't know. I think dealing with loss in terms of anyone in your family, whether you know it's happening or whether it's sudden, is hard. And even though he's not like a human being, like he still meant a lot to me, and I think I'll be sad when he passes away. To end on a slightly lighter note, good day. Other than that, tomorrow I have people coming in, so not really sure how much I can record, but maybe this is a chance for me to get more comfortable, but then also maybe this isn't the right people to record around, so we'll see how that goes. I might just have a few videos of like what we're doing, but not really like, yo, what's up? So
I mean, I guess you'll see that tomorrow. Well, 2 days for me, 1 day for you, and then maybe it's already out if you're watching this in the future. One of my videos I think is on 9 views, so almost 10 views, almost double digits, kind of a celebrity. So might have to start signing autographs soon. I mean, I've been telling my camera this. I think this is another one of the things that I repeat. The views, it doesn't matter if I get 1 view. It doesn't matter if I get 0 views. It doesn't matter if I blow up and I get 100 views, or if I blow up even more and then 1,000 or anything. Like, I'm going to keep posting. The views don't really affect me. The only thing that they should affect is that the amount of people either that I can help, and then the amount of people that will build like my network. But I still don't think that will actually happen for a long time for me to build a network, because first of all, I feel like this channel is going to really be a lot more helpful when I actually do make it, because I've been showing the process of what I've been doing every day, staying disciplined, trying to stay consistent, and then people can like watch these videos and learn from them to see how they can apply some of the things that I'm doing into their life, because success for everyone is different, and you can ask like 100 different people on what they did to be successful, and there's going to be certain strands that are similar throughout all the stories, but no two stories are the same. So you have to find out what game you're playing, what success means to you, and then how do you be successful given your circumstances, and then how do you move from where you are to where you want to be. I mean, those were kind of terrible steps, but all in all, they were how to get from A to B, and tied to you. End of day 9. Good day.